Hi, Renee Jones here with Pack Your Own Bag. So it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I have this clock and it projects the time on the ceiling. It sets itself with radio signals, so it's really kind of a set and forget kind of thing. So I went to bed the other night and the time on the ceiling was 2 hours earlier than it was supposed to be. So I hit the time zone change button and decided I'd fix it tomorrow. In the night, the radio signals reset it. So when I woke up, the clock said 3 o'clock, and it was actually 5, which is my wake-up time, and I should have gotten up. That afternoon, I changed the batteries. The time was still a little off, but I assumed it would come right in the night. It didn't. That morning, I put it on the window, a few feet from my nightstand, and it set itself immediately. My clock is a bit demented. Or old, or maybe Joey's knocked it off the nightstand one time too many. There are a number of things I don't understand about clocks, but I do know a few things. One is they keep very accurate time, normally. 2, they need their source of radio waves to set themselves. 3, they must have batteries even if they're plugged into power. Now, why they will work on batteries alone, but not on electric power alone, I don't understand. 4, it will take its signals from a distance, but after a battery change, it truly wants to be right by the window to reset itself. And maybe that's about having the clearest radio signal? I don't know. And 5, changing the batteries always worked before. And beyond that, I'm not too great at troubleshooting them, so it was time to consult an expert. When you get stuck in a less than preferable pattern, maybe you can't get past a particular food craving, or maybe you've hit a plateau, or you get too stressed. What do? Like many of you, I went with what had always worked for me, at least until it didn't. Or until I was no longer willing to accept the results from my go-to soothing. I needed different troubleshooting and a little help. So what can we learn from my clock experience? Well, 1, we can do very well normally, and then something happens that throws us off. We do so well in other areas, but this one area, we just can't seem to find the answer on our own. 2, we need our source of radio waves, whatever it is that guides you. It may be your reason for wanting to shed the weight, or it may be faith or a belief, maybe something your mentor has said, or a desire to achieve that goal. When we're in touch with that source, we tend to stay on track. 3, we may not need to be on a windowsill, but we do have specific needs. Every body is different, and every heart is different. Your experiences have created what drives you to food for comfort and stress relief. So what you need to process and reset yourself will be individual. That's what you need. 4, backup is essential. Without it, or when it fails, we lose our signals and our orientation. Our backup provides us support and accountability to get back on track. And sometimes we just get thrown off and really need all our resources to set right again. We think we ought to be able to do this ourselves. I thought that for 40 years. And it was only when I had backup and real accountability that I got to my goal and have stayed there for over 8 years. So my question for you is, what do you need? All the best.